Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Pro and Expert Division in the Extreme Hills tournament. We're playing from second tee and you can practice both of the Greenberg Slopes and the Eagle Peak on tour number 8. So those of you playing tour number 8 today, you are in a lucky situation. Video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also visit golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash related content. Last but not least, get the best guides on the market by going to patreon.com/golfclashtommy, link in the description down below. Follow the info box on the right hand side for the elevation adjustment I suggest you to play with, both the drive and then the second shot. Then also what type of ball and club I feel is going to be the best ones for you to use. And obviously you can play with different ball, different club, you know, it's up to you totally, but these are the ones that I would recommend. Make sure you comment if you do have any questions, so let's go to hole number 1. Here, we're gonna start by lay up with a club that is either going to be the rock or the quarterback if we do have tailwind. If we do have a headwind, I would recommend you to play with, you know, your normal driver, meaning Extra Mile, Thor's Hammer, or the Apocalypse. Maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment. I'm not using any spin whatsoever. My plan here is not to go as far as possible as it normally would, because that's the way that I've been playing this hole so many times. But now, we're gonna play just a conservative drive, just straightforward, and really get into a situation where we can rely on yardage notes. Because we play a perfect drive straightforward, we're gonna get the same type of feeling almost every single time. Max plus 20 for the drive. Second shot, we're gonna look for the funnel, and the funnel is going to be looked at when it comes to with the sniper. Here we do have a major advantage playing with the sniper 9 or sniper 10 if there is a tailwind. If it is headwind or crosswind, we will be coming around with lower level snipers as well. Max backspin is what I'm going with, and I'm looking for the ball guideline to go just to the hole. It might look that we will then go short, but that's not going to happen. Now we play 10% over adjustment and we base it on our club distance that we do have. Now, the only thing that we do have to do here is to hit perfect, because when we hit perfect, the ball is going to go up the hill and then it's going to fall down. Even though I didn't wiggle back and forth, but the spot that we are playing for there is a funnel. So that one will drop many times. The only thing you have to think about is obviously your adjustment, but super good chance in Pro and Expert making an eagle here on hole number 1. So hole number 2, we're gonna play with the Goliath, and we're gonna play with, in this case, a Katana. And the thing that I would like you to have in mind here, that the reason we play with the Goliath is because playing with a Grizzly, or, you know, for that matter, a Backbone, we will be going in between clubs to get to the spot that I want us to aim for now. Because we do want to aim pretty high up here with our long iron to be able to not have that much speed when going towards the pin. One backspin, max side spin to the right, and then I'm trying to focus on the tip of the ball guideline to go to the left side of the pin. That's at least the plan, but as we do not have a fully developed ball guideline with the Goliath, it's going to be difficult. Maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment is what I'm playing this shot as. If we do have a straight headwind, then I would recommend you to play with the sniper instead. There is also a rough bump on the right side of the bunker, but it is a technical one where with a great ball you will most likely miss the rough if you did adjust it properly. Kingmaker could be a valuable ball here as well to play with, and that's obviously up to you, but a Katana should work totally fine. So Goliath Katana, max plus 10, and you have a good chance here on hole number 2. So let's start by take a look at the drive, and here you can choose to either go right side or you go left. In this example, we're gonna go left when we do have wind coming right to left, but also with some headwind. Red ring by the rough line. I do think we are a little bit too close in my opinion, especially when we do have curl. We don't need to be as close as we are there, especially when the wind is in our favor also. Great left. And after adjusted max plus 10, we are nowhere near the rough. And you can see that, you know, with a perfect, we would have been very close to the right side of the rough. So I would recommend to go with a little bit of curl to the left. Not much, but just a little bit. Like half a ball or something like that. And then obviously try to hit perfect. The Kingmaker to have side spin 3. And also when it's a headwind, it's also good to have the wind resistance so we don't have to overpower. If we do have a crosswind or a tailwind, a katana will definitely be enough. Second shot, we play downhill, massively downhill, and here I would like us to play with a 30% over adjustment. And sure, the elevation here might change from time to time due to what type of wind we're gonna have. Because if we do have like a straight tailwind, or we do have a straight crosswind where, you know, we're still gonna be in line with a pin, we might come around with a 20 or 25% over adjustment. But with a crosswind, we do need to adjust a lot because the wind is going to be push us right to left in this example, and obviously left to right if the wind would be other direction. So 30% over adjustment, we do want to bounce and then roll towards the pin. So there's a long way for the ball to travel, and it's very easy to under adjust a shot like this. But nonetheless, tough one to make an albatross on, and an eagle is definitely going to be the general score here. But, you know, who knows? Maybe we're gonna have a bonus albatross coming up at some times during the tournament. So, hole number 4 is going to be a very difficult par 3. Sure, there is a rough bump on the top, what we'll call it, at the left side of the fairway, but on the top right of the rough. But if we do have a wind like this, we're going to adjust from a lower to a higher point, which is going to be difficult. Here, I'm using a little top spin and also a little side spin to the left, and the spin is going to be dependent on what type of wind you're going to have. I adjust max plus 20, even though we aren't in maximum distance of our club, and then it's time to take our shot. I'm using a Kingmaker to reduce the wind. Here, it wouldn't be bad to use any form of special ball, to use wind 4 or wind 5 to have a better situation on this one here. Now, as I did adjust from a lower to a higher point, I will be gaining a bit more distance. That's why the first bounce is so far in front than where we landed. If we do have a straight tailwind or a straight headwind or just a, you know, a southeast wind or something like that, the rough bump is highly valuable to, sure, with a great ball we might miss the rough, but at the same time with a perfect ball we might have a very good chance for an hole-in-one. This is a tough but fair par 3 to make an hole-in-one on, but make sure you play it in a way that you at least make yourself a birdie, because it's tough to get a par on a par 3. So, here in this example, it's going to be a quick one, and I'm going to take it once again once we're done. Here, I'm using a power 5 ball when I do have tailwind. It's not maybe necessary to use a snow globe ball, which has wind 0, power 5, but I would recommend you to at least use a berserker ball and to, in that case, get the distance, get the wind, so you will be able to carry over the bunker. Sorry, carry over the rough. Using curl as well is valuable, and I'm using the driver that gives me the most distance possible. Unfortunately here I get a little bit, you know, not unfortunately, but I get in a very nice position here, getting this ball down towards the pin there, because I'm kind of not aiming for the ball to just go at the pin. I'm aiming for the back end of the green for the ball to fall back down. So let's take it again. We aim inside the rough, so I'm basically eyeballing my type of adjustment here, as I do have so much fairway to play on that it's not really needed to be that, you know, 100% accurate with my adjustment. But in the best of the worlds, you adjust max with no elevation and then push up to max. And you can see that I'm using a little backspin as well together with the side spin. This is to not carry over the green, or not carry over, but to bounce over the green and then have a problem with that. Great left, no issues. And again, you can play this type of shot with many of the Apocalypse clubs. If you do play with an extra mile or a Thor's hammer, then you have less curl, and then I would really recommend to play more right. You can as well play with a power 3 ball, and use the tailwind and bounce on the first fairway, then roll down the hill. But obviously you will most likely not be on green there. That's why I wanted to have that as an example for you, that we can actually reach green on this one. And if we can, then it's going to be an absolute must eagle, whether we like it or not. So let's start off with the drive, and here I would really recommend you to use the driver with the most topspin and distance. Big topper in tailwind is absolutely a possibility, but in the end I would recommend them to play with a power 4 or a power 5 ball. If you do have a Thor Sammer level 6, you use the Thor Sammer level 6 as for its topspin. That goes obviously if you play a POC 6 or plus. Otherwise, once again, use the driver with the most topspin, because we do want to gain as much distance possible here on the fairway, and the longer we roll, the better it's going to be. Those of you that are not playing with a driver that has more than 4.5 bar topspin, I would truly, really recommend you to play with a power 5 ball, like a berserker ball, stealth ball, or something like that, that do have a power 5. This because the second shot will otherwise be a very difficult one to have enough distance towards, especially with lower level snipers. Here you can play sniper, you can play guardian, cataclysm, and I play with the sniper if I do have a sniper level 8 plus. Otherwise I will be trying to go guardian and go backspin onto the green. And sure, the guardian in my opinion will not be as good opportunity as the sniper, because I like to play with a better ball guideline, but at the same time there is still an opportunity by using the back end of the green for the ball to fall back down towards the pin. But now we're using the sniper and we're adjusting max plus a 10 and spin to the hole. We drop down into the sand though, which makes this ball go just short in line, because if you drop into the sand you need to push up, because dropping from a higher point to a lower point will mean that we're gonna lose distance. I'm gonna show you two ways here. One where we play with a long iron, and here I would really recommend you to play with the Grizzly or the B52, whatever has the best ball guideline. Sure, the Grizzly in headwind is gonna have a little issue due to the fact that we do have to be playing very close to the bottom of the fairway. I'm using spin to the pin, so the spin shows that we should be going a little bit long, but in this example I don't adjust enough. That's pretty clear. We should adjust this one maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment, and then take our shot. Once we adjust here on this pad, we go from a lower point to a higher point, which means that we should be gaining a little bit more distance. But you're noticing here that we go very short on the fairway pad. That's because we're not adjusting enough, and that's why it makes sense that we do miss left of pin. One of my routes that I think is actually a nice and hilarious route is to go for the rough bump. You do need to have, if we play in headwind, you do need to have at least 4.2 topspin, which is going to take away anything else than sniper 9 and sniper 10, and it's a very thin rough bump that we're playing. Max right side spin, ball guideline through the hole, and then I do adjust minimum distance plus a 10 in this example. But you're gonna notice that we have been playing this one slightly less than minimum distance plus 10, as we are going to miss on the right hand side. But you see, we clip the rough and we roll up, and every time we do a rough bump we obviously take away the secondary bounce wind effect, which makes this a better opportunity. There is a third way as well, where I unfortunately don't have a video on. That is where we go with preferably a guardian to go on max backspin and then go behind the pin for the ball to fall back down. So a lot of different ways on this hole, and I do believe it's gonna be a good chance for an hole-in-one. Let's start off with the drive, and I'm playing with 4.5 bar topspin and as much as side spin to the right possible. The most important part here for me is the tip of the ball guideline and the second bounce. You do want that ball guideline to go in between the rough on the left and the right. Maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment is going to be needed, and then we're obviously going to try to hit perfect. The ball is going to bounce on the fairway and then get over and roll up very nicely. And here it's a situation where we do play a linear hole, which means that the 349 yards is going to be extremely valuable to build a yardage table, which obviously will be in the guides once we play the tournament. Second shot, we're going to play with the Thorn or Hornet or whatever short arm we might want to use. Have in mind though, you need at least 4 bars of backspin to play this shot, because I don't want you to bounce on the fairway before the green, because that's going to all be affected, because we go from a higher to a lower point all the time when bouncing on that uphill slope. But if we do go directly on green, we're going to have a flat area, and then we can rely on our adjustment much better. And as you can clearly see, we shoot uphill, which means that the ball is going to be less affected by the wind, and therefore we play minus 10% when it comes to elevation, which means that we do subtract from our original adjustment. And there we do have a safe and nice eagle for hole number 8. If you don't feel comfortable with playing with, you know, a short iron, or you just don't feel comfortable hitting perfect, then you can play power 5 ball, 4.5 bar top, max right, and then try to play with overpower. And the plan here is to get the second bounce to bounce into the rough nearby the green area, and then roll up into a nice position for a wedge. Sure, this is going to be more of a lottery, because all from wind angle to wind strength and everything will affect. Power 5 ball though is a must, and you know, when you're playing this shot like with overpower, you know, it's always going to be risky. I recommend the first option as the main option, but once again, if you have a big problem hitting perfect on your second shot with a short iron, then I would say what do you have to lose if you're gonna go for green. So let's take a look here at the drive. Simple drive, straightforward on the left. I'm using 4.5 bar top spin and 4.5 bar side spin to the left. And now we're going to adjust maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment, and then we push our club into max. Have in mind though that you could need a little bit of overpower just to make sure that you do get the distance that is needed. But also, if we do have a straight headwind or like we do have a crosswind, I would recommend you to go with almost close to overpower, if not, you know, max overpower, depending on, because we do want to get past the trees on the right hand side. If we don't do that, we're gonna have the trees in our way, and then we're gonna have a weird angle towards the pin. Now I do decide to play very close to the rough line on the right. The reason for that is that there is a sticky spot or funnel or whatever you want to call it there just by the green. Now it's all about finding the correct adjustment here, and here we should play max plus 5 in my opinion. So 5% over adjustment for the second shot. Ball guideline to the hole, or leave it a little short due to it being in tailwind, and the ball is gonna come in, and we just missed that one on the right because we slightly under adjust our shot. No matter what though, it's gonna be a good opportunity making an albatross here on hole number 9. There we do have it, ladies and gentlemen, the pro and expert playthrough for Extreme Hills tournament with various type of wins. Have in mind that this is not the win that we will be playing with in the tournament, but this is a way for us at least to get to know which type of routes I feel is going to be the best ones to play. Make sure you have your pen and paper and you have taken some notes, and if you do have questions, let me know in the comment section below. Video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. A massive good luck to each and every one of you playing in the Extreme Hills tournament.